Okay, so today we're going to talk about dealing with your property taxes, the awful topic of it. As some of you may have already seen, you've gotten your values in the mail a couple weeks ago that it has gone up. I'm getting phone calls. We're getting phone calls left and right of a lot of neighborhoods went up. Which is unfortunate after 2020. Okay, so let's get started. The protest deadline is May 24th, so you have to have it, you have to have your protests either filed online or by mail by May 24th. So have it postmarked for May 24th. So your first step is you need to call a realtor to get your comps for the property. When you get your statement, look on the value. I thought I had a copy of mine. No. No. Look to see what went up. If it went up from the improvement value or the lot value, which one went up, if both. Sometimes both goes up. So once you have that down, then coming up with your value, you want to, again, call your realtor, get comps. You need comps from 2020, not 2021, which is actually a good thing because 2020 kind of, well, I mean, we all know it sucked, but it was much slower than it is this crazy market now. So the comps will be most likely in your favor compared to this year. Not so, next year is going to be a nightmare. So you want comps because they have appraised your value as of January 1st. So all their comps should be 2020 and your comps should be 2020. So you need about 3 to 5 comps. 5 is better because that's what the appraisal district's going to have. So you want to be kind of comparing. So once you have your comps, then you want to supply any evidence you have. So if your roof needs to be repaired or you need new siding, take pictures of anything that's needed. And also bids are actually better if you can get some real bids from people. And I know everybody's so crazy with all the roofs and everything, but if you have any foundation problems, pictures of all of that. The more pictures, the better for the appraiser and for the ARB hearing, because the ARB doesn't know anything about your property, has never seen it, has never heard of it. So they're just going off of what you provide them. So the more evidence that you can provide, the more facts you can provide, then the more they have to go off of. We always used to have a lot of pictures of people with foundation problems. Provide any pictures of if your lot has any drainage issues, if it floods, if Harvey, we saw a lot of this, but any drainage problems, any backup water, or if water runs from your neighbors when we get a big rain, if you have pictures of any of that, because they can deduct off your lot value. Also, be reasonable with your value. So if they came in at 275 and last year it was 250, you can't go in at 225. They're just not, they're not gonna go below what was the value of last year. 99% sure they're not gonna go below what they had last year. And typically they'll meet you kind of in the middle. When I say they, I'm talking about the appraisers or the ARB. So kind of go with that in mind. So what I usually tell people is to go in with last year's value. You always want to fight it, even if it's like $5,000 higher. I know it's a lot of time and energy on your part, but they go up every year. So this year it's 5,000, then they add 10,000 to that. So then all of a sudden, you know, you're $15,000 higher. So again, be reasonable with your value. If there's a huge gap between those two, it's going to be difficult to get to a common ground. So, next, we have to fill out, okay. Yes, we have to fill out your protest form. This gets kind of confusing, but as you can see on this slide, in section 1, you're going to add your phone number and email address. Section 2 should already be filled out. In section 3, this is very important. Check box the incorrect value, and then check the box value is unequal compared with other properties. Check both. The reason why I say this is this covers all your bases. So if you go in there as unequal, then that would be an equity comparison, which sometimes isn't in your favor. But if you do incorrect value, then you're talking about comparables, comps, which that's what you're sending in. So you want to cover your bases. So many times we would have people come in and would have just one box checked when they actually meant incorrect value, but they put in there value is unequal compared to other properties. So that's when they're going to pull an equity grid. I'll get into that here in a minute. So check both of those boxes. So value is unequal compared to other properties means your property is appraised unfairly compared to other properties. Houses on the same street have a lower value is what you're stating. Section 4, provide facts that support your opinion of value. This is where you're gonna, there's only a couple lines there, I believe. So you really just kind of want to put C attached. And that's where you'll put your comps. But you can also add in there if there's any damage to your house, foundation, flooding, roof, anything that needs to be repaired or fixed. And then you're going to add the value amount underneath there. And like I said, you may just want to put the value that it was last year. Yeah, probably just the amount that it was last year. You don't want to go too much. I mean, if you did go, you're going to have strong evidence, really strong evidence if you want to go lower than that. Even though you may think your house is, you know, worth way less than what they have it valued at. It just kind of is what it is. Sorry. Section 5, check in person if you have time to, this is best to go in person for your hearing. The ARB gets to see you. It just makes a bigger impact when they can see you face to face and kind of hear your emotions. But if you don't have time for that, and I know the waiting time, I mean, you can be in that lobby for hours on end, check by telephone, but make sure, and I have attached the affidavit, you should have a copy of it. You fill out the affidavit, it's the form 5283, and get it notarized. It has to be notarized. So many times we were in ARB hearings and the affidavit was just thrown out because it wasn't notarized, which would break my heart. But get it notarized. Don't forget that part or it'll be thrown out. Section 6, check the email to electronic provided in section 1. That's where you had added your email address. Section 7, nothing, and you don't put anything there unless your property is greater than 50 million. Don't we all wish we had a $50 million property, right? Section 8, print your name, sign, and date. So now that you have the form, so this is where it talks about the telephone ARB hearing. Fill out the form 5283 and get it notarized. Notarize, notarize, notarize. If you don't hear anything from me today, get it notarized. Okay, so you have sent in your protest. You've heard back from the appraisal district stating they won't accept your opinion of value and they want you to go to a hearing. You really want to try to get this resolved in an informal if you can. So an informal meeting is with an appraiser at the district. So your first step is to call. If you don't have the evidence, which the evidence from the district looks like this. So this is their comps. You need their evidence so you can make your case of why they're not great comparables or their adjustments are off. So you need to call up there, ask for an appraiser, and request that they email you their evidence. And they should send it to you fairly quickly. And then hang up. You don't want to talk value with them at this moment because you haven't gotten a chance to review all of their evidence. So then the next step is review the district's evidence. Again, you'll see on the slide, this is where you'll see this is what it'll look like. And now I'm going to explain how to look at that. So in the first column, you'll see that it's your home, and then there's comp 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they have a lot of comps and sometimes they don't. And there's comp 4 and 5. See if any of the comps that you mailed in are actually on there. Sometimes they combine them. So first of all, what I'd like for you to do, because this happens a lot, look to make sure under the subject that your square footage is correct. A lot of times the square footage is incorrect. But if it's lower than what your actual square footage is, then you probably don't want to tell them because you're going to end up paying more taxes. Okay, and then, so look at comp 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. And please stop and ask questions if you have any. Are the comps from 2020? The value, I know I already talked about this, but the value is given as of January 1st. So all the comps they should be using is January through December of 2020. So if they have, which is good, like I said before, which is good because 2020 real estate was nothing like 2021 real estate. So make sure all the comps, and you'll see up at the top, it says confidential sale. So for example, the one that I have, there are several that are three of them are in the correct year and 2 of them are out, are not, and should not be considered a comp. Are the comps like your property? Are they similar? Are they, within the same size? Are they within 1,000, within 3 to 500 square feet? Are the comps in the same neighborhood? This is huge, especially if you're talking about, for example, over Eastgate, all of that. They like to use the word ag shack all the time. They will pick out an ag shack over here and then one over on Holloman and compare those. And I would always debate of, well, George Bush is different than Holloman. Anyways, are the comps in the same neighborhood? Are the comps within 5 to 10 years of newer or older of your property? There shouldn't be, if your home's built in 1970, there shouldn't be a house built in 2000 on there. That's not a viable comparable. Do the comps have the same class ID? We saw this a lot. So class is on the farthest column on the left. It says class adjustment. So you'll see on this one, it's RV4. And if you go across, they're all RV4, which that's residential veneer brick category 4. I think the highest I've seen is RV9. And that was like this huge, amazing mansion. So make sure they're all the same class. So then down at the bottom, there's net adjustments, as you'll see. Make sure there's not any crazy adjustments as you go across. So yours is the subject, there's 0 adjustments. If you look at comp 1, there's negative 9,345. Then the next one is plus 8,649. Comp 3 is negative 18,000. And when you're talking about a house that is 235,000, a adjustment of 18,000 is pretty big. Then on comp 4, it's 24,000. Comp 5, 29,000. Those are pretty big adjustments. A great comp would be within like a few $1,000s, maybe $10,000. That would be a very good comparable. And I've seen where these adjustments are like 100,000, which those are bad comps. You can't use those as comps. That's just a huge adjustment. And an adjustment means they're comparing your property to other properties and they're adjusting the value. Either it's on square footage or open porch or year built. You'll see there's an amount, you know, the subject home was built in 2012. Well, the comp 1 was built in 2011. So you see that value 1937. And I know this is getting like so in depth, but I want to explain it to you so you can kind of understand what you're looking for. So once you kind of gotten your head wrapped around all of the comps and what you're working with, then this is when you want to build your case. This is when you want to look at your comps and look at their evidence. And now you want to start defending why your house is not like these other homes, or that the adjustments are too high, so they should not count as a comp, or the age is different, whatever you can find in here, because the appraisal district has to provide, they have the burden of proof of making the case of evidence. So any way that you can cause reasonable doubt is better. Just think of a legit court case. Because the appraisal district has to prove to the ARB board that they have better factual evidence than you. So, again, you start kind of building your case. So then once you have your head, again, wrapped around the evidence and your comps, now you're going to call back up to the appraisal district, ask for appraiser, and this is when you are going to make your case. Number 1, be nice. Number 2, be nice. Number 3, this is very important, be nice. These people get, and I know you don't want to be nice and you just want to yell at them of how much money they're costing you, but they get yelled at all day long. So the nicer, I mean, fake it till you make it, just be nice. So then they're gonna pull up your whole file, look it over, and then you make your case against the comps. So you're gonna say, well, comp 1 is not comparable because it's not the same age, or I'm just giving you an example. That's not the case that I would make on that, but I would say comp 1 is a comp from this year when it should be from 2019, and comp 3. So those both aren't, you can't use both of those. And I'm trying to see, this isn't a really, I should have gotten a better one. So you're just going to go through and then you're going to state, well, my house needs this, needs a new roof, it has foundation problems, or it's not like comp 3 because comp 3 has all upgrades and I haven't done anything to my house. Or they have a pool, or their lot is much bigger than mine. You don't want to say too much. We would hear a lot of people kind of stick their foot in their mouth. You don't want to say you added granite last year, or you put in a $30,000 driveway, or you put in, I mean, landscaping doesn't really matter, but you redid all the siding. Don't tell them that, because that just adds value to your home. It's great for resale, but not for lowering your taxes. Tell them what your property needs. If it needs new siding, if it needs new plumbing, electrical, if it needs foundation work, explain all of this to them. And this is where you may have to email them the pictures. Explain why comps are better or differ from your property. And see what they offer you. They may come down some. Negotiate with them. So let's say on this one, they offered, I wanted $220 for this house, and they have it valued at $238,713. So let's say they come back at $230, and I still think that's a little high. And so I negotiate at $228 and see what they say. And if they take it, then take it and run. If they come in between $1,000 to $5,000 of what your opinion was, take it and run. Depending on the value of your home, even if they've jumped your property like $50,000 or something crazy like that. And depending on the value of your home, sometimes letting it go up like $10,000, it's not okay, but it's better than it going up 50. So take it and run. But negotiate with the appraiser. Try to compromise and be nice. The nicer you can be and empathetic with their job, the better. You'll get so much farther with them. So if you can't come to an agreement, this is when you will move forward. And okay, so the informal, they're not doing any informals in person this year. They're all over the phone. So you're just gonna have to call, and that's why I'm saying be nice, be nice, be nice, because you're just over the phone. If you can't come to agreement, so this is when you would move on to an ARB hearing. The ARB hearing is a 15-minute hearing with a panel of review board members. This is what I was a part of, what I was telling you guys before. They are citizens of Brazos County. They are not appraisers. Most of them are retired of different professions. So, you know, you may have a teacher on there. I was the only realtor on there. There were several local business owners retired that were on there with me. So it's an unbiased group of people that are going to hear your case. Remember, they know nothing about your house. They have never seen your house. They haven't seen the evidence. They are not given any of this until your hearing starts. It is passed around the room. So you have 15 minutes to make your case. So if you do get to go in person, be nice. Again, thank them for their time. It is a thankless job. We used to get yelled at, screamed at, accused. They always thought that we were the ones that were raising their taxes, which we would have to explain. But if you're going in person, make 7 copies of all of your evidence. That way you can hand it out to all the ARB members. And so they will take a copy of this to put into your file. So if you have pictures, don't bring your originals, bring another copy that they can actually have. Otherwise it won't be counted as evidence, if that makes sense. So the hearing will start, they'll swear you in. Again, this is 15 minutes, or it's supposed to be 15 minutes. Many of them went over, but you have the choice of presenting first or second. I would go second. Let the appraiser, the district, go first to make their case, and then you go. So the appraiser will go over all the comps, and they'll state the subject, 4261 Rock Bend Drive in College Station. We have an RV4, 1471 square feet, built in 2012, and here's the comps. They put this up on a huge board. All the ARB is looking at all these comps, and they have them in front of them as well. So you let them make their case, then you get to cross-examine, or you get to state your case. And this is when you bring out all your evidence. But first, so the first thing they're going to ask you is, what's your opinion of value? Give them your opinion and value, and then you're going to make your case of why you think your house is worth that value. This is a great tip because the ARB is not told this ever. So it's very helpful to the ARB to know this. tell them last year's value and how much it went up. Because when I was on ARB, we weren't given that information, and we can't ask that information. We can't ask what last year's value is, because we are there to only to come up with the valuation for this year. So we don't have information to that. So tell them what it was last year so they can see the difference of how big of a difference. We were shocked sometimes when people would tell us of, oh my God, it went up 80,000. But we would have never known that if they didn't tell us. Stick to the facts. Like I said, you have 15 minutes to state your case. Show them all your comps that you have. Make your case why the district's comps do not compare to yours. And then the hearing will come to a closing. The ARB panel will deliberate orally, and a motion will be said, and then they will vote and give you your value right then. The comptroller will send you your value in the mail, and you'll get it in about 2 weeks. So if you're not happy with that, then you can appeal that, and you can go to district court. It costs about $500. It's, in my opinion, it's a deterrent for you to go higher. Remember, the ARB does not know anything about your property until the hearing begins. Provide as many pictures of repairs needed. More pictures, the better. Bids are even better. Keep it short and sweet, but factual. The ARB is seeing, they are having hearings from, I think, 8:30 a.m. until, I think the latest we were up there was 9:30 at night. They used to try to get us out by 5, but that never happened. So, the kinder you are, the factual and to the point, they will appreciate that. Just saying. This next page, I have the appraisal staff members. If you wanted to contact any of them. I know that was a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, also, because of the blizzard, and I have this on the slideshow, there is a temporary exemption for property damage by disaster exemption. The recent cold weather has caused physical damage to many properties in Brazos County. The Texas tax code allows a qualified property improvement that is at least 15% damaged by a disaster in a governed declared disaster, which is Brazos County, to receive a temporary exemption of a portion of the appraised value of your property. Qualified properties include real properties such as homes, buildings, certain manufactured homes, and tangible personal property. At least 15% damage. Example, if the appraised value of your improvement is $200,000, the damages would have to total $30,000 to meet the minimum threshold. This exemption is not automatic to qualify. Property owner must apply for temporary exemption no later than 105 days. So this would be May 28th. So this is good for any of you guys that had any major damage, like so many people in Brazos Valley. Please email us, call us. We'd be happy to pull you comps. If you have any questions, especially once you get the evidence, if you're confused of, I don't even understand, Cherry, Katie, Kathy, everybody, of what this means, call us. We'd be happy to help. I was on the ARB because of property owners. They need help. Thank you for listening to my long video. And again, call us if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.